Amelia's Ward Linden.
Alrighty, a very good evening to all of my friends and well-wishers and my little audience we have here, and all of the folks who are waiting on. It's fun day. It's Thursday once again, and Easter has come and went its way. And I always say that after Easter, the year flies. You know, it's like the kites that go up in the air, and they're up there as long as you keep them up there, and the wind is blowing, and then when the kites come down, the year is done. It just flies. So it is already May, and pretty soon it's going to be August. You know, it's funny how it goes. When May comes and school closes again, June or July, when it reopens, the next time it closes, Christmas. That's how I used to look at it when I was in school. You know, that way you don't feel it. You know, you don't feel the pressures of the classroom and the work you had to learn. You know, and it happened in college, but it's different in college.
But I still can't figure out why they say 12 months make a year. That's the part I can't. How did they get that? How did they get 12 months that makes a year?
It must be some theory behind it.
What do you call it? Glitch.
Some glitch. Mathematical glitch.
Hiccup.
Yeah. But on the real side of things, very good evening to all of you, and welcome once again to our program. It's been a little while since we had a full program because of all sorts of things, you know.
Challenges.
We've had some serious challenges recently with persons' health. I've had some serious challenges with business. You know, challenges that I guess keeps me busy, keeps me occupied, and keeps me thinking all the time. My colleague who was here that went back to Ukraine said to me, she said, do you sleep? I said, yeah. She says, no, you don't sleep. Your brain don't sleep. You always, you always have things in your brain. She says, your brain goes all the time. You don't sleep. You don't sleep. I said, you're right. You know, my body lays down and my brain just keep going, you know, because there's so much that I've got to think about. And, you know, this thing with cancer, man, I don't know. This thing with cancer. This cancer situation is like war games.
It is. It is. That's it.
You know, it's like it seems like there's a control mechanism that determines who's next with cancer. You know, and I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do. It seems like there's nothing that can make a difference. You know, but he's not next. Apparently, you know, it's not like, yeah. I've had a recent experience of one person, and we don't lose too many. You know, when we lose one, it's like we lose a lot, because we're not supposed to lose any. You know, we just had one particular person who came to us with stage 4. And we were working with him so hard for several months that we felt that, you know, we had this guy, you know, had him coming back. And then it got to the point where he needed something to boost him, to make him go on. And I ordered it. It was delivered in Florida. It was shipped ear by ear, according to sources that were used to do it, and it never reached here. It never landed in Guyana. I don't know what happened. I don't know if you know, I don't want to think what happened, because it is amazing that it never reached here. And the shipping company said they received it and they shipped it. When we opened the box, it wasn't inside. I don't know what happened. I really don't know. I have no explanation for that one. But the young gentleman passed on 2 days ago. Sad enough, very, very sad, because he's a young person. That's the other thing. He's not an old, I mean, he didn't live the life that was 70. He didn't reach there, you know, far from there. So, you know, I'm puzzled. It really, this is another one that affected us because we didn't expect it. And the saying that he comes like a thief in the night, that part of the scripture, I'm wondering if it's meant to be death, you know.
Well, obviously.
You don't know when it's going to happen.
Kill, steal, destroy.
You think it's going to be okay, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's gone. So I want to physically express and verbally my condolences to the family. If you're looking and listening, you know who you are. And we tried. Everybody tried. We all tried. The family tried. The hospital tried. You know, it was an effort where we all tried to make this guy go on. He's a businessman, and not that it matters. It is a life, you know. But we all worked,
Agent.
yeah, to try to get this guy going, and didn't happen, you know. So we have to move on. I am still concerned about the chemical excess and the exposure to mercury, lead, and cadmium. I am seeing lots of it, more and more, and I don't know if the health ministry can find a way to have maybe a department established to investigate the exposures, the loads that are being allowed to enter into plants and vegetables and fruits and water and you know, it's amazing. Those are all cancer causing, and those are all materials that damages your brains. You know, and some of it is cancer causing. You know, so I don't know. I promised the minister I'm going to have a letter. I'm going to write a letter to her. You know, with my views on cancer and my findings, and I'm hoping that she will look at it and maybe you know, together we can put together some team that would maybe investigate certain things. And then we need a lab here. We need a lab here that can test the foods and the fruits and the vegetables on a daily basis, randomly, to see what's going on, you know? Because I am of a firm opinion that it's what we consume and what we expose ourselves to that's creating a problem for us with cancer. You know, cancer cells are there. I mean, we all have them. But when they're activated, and what causes them to be activated is what we need to look into. You know, because once the cells are activated, they're looking for host.
Yes.
They're looking for a carrier. You know, for something to latch onto and to lock into and begin its destructive work. You know, someone called me today asking me to go over the coded information. Doctor, I missed the program. Can you do over the code, the decoding? The decoding process is still happening.
Yes, it is.
You know, and I am of the firm opinion that it's an individual process. Everyone would not be able to use the same decoding process.
Blood type different.
So the work still continues with the decoding, because it's not an individual, it's not a collective process. It's pretty much an individual process, and then it becomes even more technical, because we're not eating the same way, we're not eating the same foods, we're not living the same environments, we're not, it's a very complicated situation. It really is. So decoding cancer might be a lifetime process because of the variety of factors that surround it.
But it brings awareness is the first thing it does. Awareness.
This is what needs to happen. People need to become more conscious. Not necessarily a favorite word, but people need to become more vigilant.
That's the word. Yes.
And more concerned about where they're purchasing their foods from. Where are we importing, the sources of importation. I am concerned about some of that too, because we're importing foods that may be already contaminated. So when we put it into our stores and we get it on our in our kitchens, we are consuming products that may have already been tainted with matter that can create the environment for cancer cells to be activated.
All this part of decoding.
And on that note, I have 2 videos that I've asked to be shown, and I'm going to ask my operator to show one of them, so that we could begin to realize that some of what needs to happen is that we need to be more aware as to what we pick up off the grocery shelves, and then before that, what we import.
Oh, well, that's it.
To be put into the stores.
Especially canned foods.
That are being passed on into the homes. So operator, if you can, just let one of those videos go, and let's see what really is happening in our homes and in our stores.
Monsanto was ordered to pay $289 million in Roundup cancer trial. And now a new study shows the main ingredient found in Roundup is also found in many breakfast foods. Sarah Montez de Oca explains.
According to the Environmental Working Group, or EWG, the key ingredient in Roundup's weed-killing poison, glyphosate, is also found in popular oat products, in several breakfast foods, including cereals marketed to children. The EWG found that ingredient is present in 43 of the 45 cereals they tested, and 31 of those contained glyphosate levels well above the organization's health benchmark of 160 parts per billion. Now, glyphosate was also found in organic oats, though detected at a low level below the safe threshold. But those that contained the highest levels of glyphosates were Quaker old-fashioned oats, with levels higher than 1,000 parts per billion. Now, popular children's brands like Cheerios and Lucky Charms also found extremely high levels. To put this into perspective, EWG's Child Protective Health benchmark for daily exposure of glyphosate in food is 160 parts per billion, and Quaker Oats contains 760. A statement from EWG says EWG's findings raise the prospect that millions of American children are being exposed to a suspected carcinogen at a time when their bodies are rapidly developing. Now, glyphosate was also found in oats, granolas, and other snack bars. While cereal and these easy breakfast foods have been linked to all kinds of health benefits, including lowering cholesterol and decreased cardiovascular risk, they fail to mention this high risk of exposure to the carcinogen glyphosate. Now, in December, the EPA concluded that glyphosate is not likely to be carcinogenic to humans. But this contradicts that both the World Health Organization and California state scientists have linked glyphosate to cancer. Political Director of Organic Consumer Association, Alexis Baden-Mayer, is also calling for retailers to take initiative.
It takes time for the science to be done, and sadly, people get sick and die in the meantime. So we really need to use a precautionary approach and get these products off the marketplace.
Quaker Oats responded with a statement saying they are following EPA's guidelines. Now, EWG is now urging the EPA to review the findings and asking them to limit the use of glyphosate on food crops. In Washington, Sarah Montez de Oca, RT.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.
Okay, that's one of them, and you know it's really funny. I love that oats. You know, Quaker is the brand that is being talked about there, and I normally take that oats and make shakes and all that.
They got better brands in there.
Yeah. So the key thing here that needs to be also factored in to all of this is detoxification. You know, cleansing. Even though you may eat these things that are harmful and they have effects on you that could create a problem, like cancer, if you were to detoxify your system, your body system, on a regular basis, you can remove and eliminate some of those toxins from becoming a part of your body system, you know, which would then create conditions to bring on all of those wicked demonic curses that we face, like cancer. You know, so I encourage you, and don't get into the fake detoxing stuff. I promise to order one of those devices so that I could show it to the people, you know, live as to what happens really when you put your foot into that thing. You know, you don't have to put your foot in it to make it change color. You can put a piece of paper in there, it's going to change color. You can put a pencil in there, it's going to change color. If you wanted to understand how detoxification works, then you can. I mean, you have access to so many sites now with the internet and YouTube. You know, I mean, some of it you don't really believe, but much of it is okay. You know, it will expose many of the wrongs that are being brought and placed on people to make them believe that they're getting these fantastic results when they're really not getting anything. You know, I'm experiencing that every day in people when they've, and many of them come to us when they've gotten to the bottom. They've gone everywhere and tried everything, and for some reason they come to us mostly in the end. And it's not a bad thing sometimes, because once they do that, there's no place else to go. They have to follow the rules and do what is right in their best interest, because they would have done everything else and it didn't make a difference, you know. So sometimes I don't have a problem when they do that, but where the problem is, when they've already expended all of their resources, they spent all of their hard-earned money, and now to get really what will work for them, they're broken for the most part. You know, so we've got to be more vigilant, as I said, and be more conscious. I'm going to use the word conscious about where you expose yourself to, where you eat from. You know, I talk about eating, and people are still not aware that monosodium glutamate is in the cube. You know, it is written so small that they can't really see it, and it flavors the food so nicely, according to the people, that they can't live without it, some of them.
Addiction.
You know, they've become it has gotten into their system, and now it's a part of them. They can't do without it. They're addicted. But monosodium glutamate is hidden in so many products, and it's a chemical. It's a chemical that is very destructive. You know, and some people say, oh, it is made with sugar cane, and it's made with fish, and it's fish, whatever. You know, it's regardless as to what it is made with, it is known as a chemical, and it's a destructive chemical. Monosodium glutamate, known as AGI, is not something that you want to have in your kitchen cabinet.
Word.
It needs to be flushed down the toilet and not be bought, because it's very destructive to the humans. You know, if you put a cube on the ground, break it up and put it on the ground, and the rats eat that cube, soon enough they'll die.
Wow.
That's how bad it is.
There's a lot of rat poison.
You know, it can work as rat poison. You know, because the rat, the rat is the mice is a very tiny animal, and it's a reptile, right? A rat, a mammal. Yeah, it's been a long time. You know, you put that little cube there, and the mammal eats it, and it will kill him in no time. You know, because we are huge, it will take more time to destroy, to really destroy us. But it is doing it gradually, and you know, it's not being realized. So cubes and aji should not be in your kitchen cabinet. It should not be bought. If you want to flavor your food, you know, there are all sorts of ways. And you know what we don't realize also is that our taste buds can fool us because we trained it to accept certain things. But if you eat foods with no salt, you know, if you eat foods with no salt over a period of time, it will taste as though it has salt in it because your taste buds will become accustomed to it, and it will be flavored and you wouldn't even realize it. It's because of how we train ourselves, you know. But the fact of the matter is, even though some of the factors that create cancer are in the environments that we expose ourselves to, the biggest part of where the problem becomes is what we consume. And we eat ourselves, we dig our graves with our teeth. And we eat ourselves into our graves.
What you eat is what you are.
You know, it's something that I've been saying ever since I've been on the program. Ever since. I mean, this is how many years now? Since 1996. You know, we dig our graves with our teeth and we eat ourselves into our graves. And it's something that we need to think about. What we eat is who we are. Yes, we are what we consume. We are a product of what we consume. You know, so many times when we suffer from our own kitchens, from our own cupboards, from our own hands. We did it ourselves for the most part. You know, because we're not aware, or we're not making ourselves become aware of the dangers that we bring into our own homes. You know, a simple thing that happens. You may go to the market. I'll show you how it happens very simply. You may go to the marketplace and you may purchase something, and we don't think about this either. It is out of courtesy and out of normal practice that the person who is attending to you will give you a bag, be it a plastic bag or a paper bag. It's a bag. You may not even be aware that an insect is in that bag. It's in the market. It's in a store. There are roaches and all sorts of things in there, and they look for places to dwell, and they choose bags to dwell. You put your food into that bag and you take it home. What have you done? You just took an insect from a bag into your home. Didn't even know it. You just carried a host into your house, and that insect becomes a family member, because you never know, it will multiply and it will, you know. So we got to be careful. Even when I shop, when I get the bag, I knock it out, look at it, to make sure, for the most part, not all the time, that there's nothing in there that I'm taking with me. You know, and it happened to me one day in my car. In my car. I don't normally, I stopped doing it. I would pick people up sometimes and take them places, because I'm going the same place. And I try to keep my car, you know, fairly clean, right? And I would notice if there are any ants in my car, even ants in my car. After I picked up this person, they were shopping, and I picked them up to help them to get where they're going. 2 or 3 days later, I noticed that I had roaches in my car. Yeah, in my car.
Roach carrier?
In my car. Now, I am just thinking that maybe the person didn't have roaches on them, but it came in the bag that they purchased, wherever they purchased from. So I had to fumigate my car. because I don't want to take it into my house. You know, so we don't know. And other things that happen. We may take our vehicle to the mechanic shop. The mechanic, poor guy, he's working. He takes his hands and holds your steering wheel. It holds your gear shift. The hand goes on your gear shift, your steering wheel, your doorknob. When he's done, he's not going to wipe it. Hardly ever would you find a mechanic who will go after he's done and clean everything up and so, like, you know, hardly ever. You go into your car. You don't even think. First thing, you grab the door, the same door handle that was messed up with a bacteria or something, you grab it. Then you sit down in the car. He was laying on the ground with his clothes. Then he's going to test the car. He sits in the car without, you know, putting something on the seat. So you go and you sit on that seat. Right? You put your hands on the gear shift lever and on the steering wheel. Like, you know, you do all the time, not thinking that this vehicle was at the mechanic shop for maybe a day or two and it might be contaminated. And then you stop at a store and you buy a pastry, right? You take the same hand and hold the pastry and put it in your mouth. It happens all the time. Happens all the time, unconsciously with people, all the time. The next thing you know, you have a virus or a bacteria or a problem. Something happens to you. You don't know where it came from. It could have been very well that it was on your gear shift lever or your steering wheel. You know, so we've got to become more aware and more involved in what we do on a daily basis, seriously, because life is very precious and, you know, we don't want to mess it up. Right? So if the mechanic is listening, when you finish doing your work on people's vehicles, get some sort of a sanitary piece of rag, a clean piece of rag, sanitize it, and wipe after you, you know, wipe the seat, wipe the nozzle, wipe the handle, you know, wipe the door, wipe the steering wheel, you know, even the handbrake knob, wipe it. Wherever you touch, you wipe. That way you don't transfer something from your unconscious dirty hands to somebody's car who might be a child. Might be a child. You never know. I'm also seeing a tremendous amount of adenoviruses, you know, which are fecal oral transmitted viruses. And I'm wondering, why is it that we're so rampant with fecal oral transmitted viruses? Well, if you don't wash your hands thoroughly, and some of you have long nails, right? It is very unlikely that when you finish defecating and you finish cleaning yourself, that you're going to clean yourself without your fingers, you know? That finger with a long nail could be a transmitting device. You're not going to go to the sink and wash your hand and take a toothbrush and scrub one of those nails. You're hardly ever going to do that. Maybe once a weekend, maybe. So you're transmitting matter from your own self that you would have needed to wash or sanitize properly onto your own body, into your mouth. So fecal oral transmissions are not only from children, they are from adults too. And the adult will transmit it or can transmit it to the child. You have an infant and you're going to feed the infant, you take the food and you put it in your hand and put it in the child's mouth. You could be transmitting it to the child. You see? So we've got to become more aware as to how we do things. Seriously, because it is not good. It's not good. We need to become a society of persons who are concerned about others, yourself and others. Okay? Let us find ways of redirecting viruses and bacteria and agents, redirect them somewhere else, away from us. You know, let's get more serious about, and I'm going to do the letter, beginning from the garden, from the farmer, then at the wharf where things are imported, you know, and the importers should ensure that the suppliers are providing produce which doesn't contain chemicals that can harm us. It's a serious thing. The body is an organic body, and if you put chemicals inside, you're creating an environment for problems. Stop the chemicals. I say stop the chemicals. Stop the chemicals. I was speaking to my guy who looks after, you know, our interests at Linden, and he said to me, he said, "Doc, I had to do some spraying the other day to get rid of some fungus on the trees and the plants." So you know, my antennas raised, right? I said, "So what did you use?" He said, don't worry. I got some peppermint and some he called 3 of the natural derivatives that he used, including water, and it got rid of the fungus. You see, so, and he was very strong on chemicals. I told him I don't want no chemicals around me. You know, I know we all are going to go at some point, and something has to take us, as people say, but you know, as much as we can, let us avoid the use of chemicals and the use of foods that are laden with mercury and lead and cadmium. But cadmium smoke can give you cadmium. Barbecue flesh can do that to you. Many of you are digging your graves with your teeth, eating the barbecue stuff that's laden with chemical toxins. Laden. 1 leg of smoked barbecue chicken is equivalent to smoking 300 cigarettes, folks. 1 leg. 1 leg. And some of you eat 2 and 3 pieces every day. Look at what you're doing to yourself. You know? Anyway, I just realized that the clock isn't moving up here, and the time is gone. We only have a few minutes more, so I'm going to open up the lines, and you can make your calls, right? If you have any questions that you want me to answer, you know, feel free to call, and I will. I'll do my best to try to answer as much as I can, you know, in whatever way I can, your questions, so that you can maybe have some answers, you know. But I'm really concerned. Oh, before I go, before I start taking the calls, let me just mention to you that the line is working. Let me mention to you that that the clinic is going to be closed from Monday to the following Tuesday. Right? It's going to be closed from Monday coming to the following Tuesday. So don't go. Don't go there. Maybe someone will be there in between. But I've got duty in other places, and you know, it's that time again. It's that time again for me to make those runs. Right? So I'm working on working more around Guyana. We're working on it. You know, the persons in Essequibo who wants us to go there, and Berbice and up the East Coast, Upper East Coast. You know, they're running behind us to try to go and visit those areas. And we're working on them, but it's going to take some time. And I'm trying to phase into my my overseas patients and clients, someone that can look at them instead of me having to go there. You know, I'm trying to phase someone in who has the credentials to go and look at them, to assist with duties over there, so I could be more available. You know, and then I'm still not certain as to what I'm going to do with my with my plan to be in some other place. I'm still looking at that. Some people don't like it, and they don't like me to talk about it. But sometimes we need a break too. You know, we need time out, and we need to recharge and go and come back. You know, we need that too sometimes. Let me see. I got another video that I want to show. We got a little time. I got another video I want to show quickly. If my operator can key it up, you know, you can let it go. If you have it ready, just let it show. Let it play.
We are living in a world where lemonade are made of artificial flavors and furniture polish are made of real lemons. Society brainwashed to admire fake body just to fit in instead of appreciating the body we have. We count calories instead of counting chemicals. We don't like to be labeled as cheap, but we like buying cheap foods with little or no nutritional values at all in feeding our body. Without us even realizing, we continue to slowly kill ourselves and our next generation with highly processed, fake and fast foods daily. Our kids nowadays only recognizes apple juices from boxes instead of freshly squeezed apples. They grow up only knowing fast food joints instead of fresh farm foods. We question why real food is expensive instead of asking why fake food is cheap. We applaud what's cool instead of recognizing farmers who works hard in giving us food. Technology gets more advanced, but yet more people are getting sicker. Majority of the people around the world are dying of disease each day, every minute instead of old age. We take medicine as food instead of food as medicine. You see, my friends, when diet is wrong, medicine is of no use. When diet is right, medicine is of no need. When you are eating real and nutritious foods, counting calories are of no need. Spend some time to cook a hearty meal, because the only way through the heart is through the stomach. Get to know your food source. Show our kids the place where food is grown. Eat not for the sake of filling our stomach, but for nutritional reasons. Nutrition is the fuel and source of energy for our body. Many only start making changes when death is at their doorstep. Don't wait till that happens. Sometimes it can be too late. Start making the right choices. Practice mindful eating habits. Learn to eat slowly. Stop comparing our body to the ones in the beauty magazines, because each of us are unique and beautiful in our own ways. Start living right, because our body is the only temple we live in. This is Mark Leong. I hope to make the world a better place by starting to make it a healthier place.
Still in the belly because the one side, the right side swelling.
Okay, we're on a call at the moment with someone who had an experience with institutions, and we're just going over what is happening with her. Listen.
Dr. Raphael is the doctor.
Don't call any names for me, right? You don't have to call any names. Okay.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, if you've gone to the institutions and they would have performed procedures and you still have your condition, you need to go back to them and let them realize that you still have a problem. They've done surgery or whatever they did. They put in a stent, as you say. You know, let them know that. Go back in and let them know that I am still having problems and you need to look at me.
But they don't want money and money and money all the time, Mr. Hayes.
Yeah, but they haven't corrected your problem, even though they did the surgery.
Yeah, but I frightened for going in the theater, for let them do anything to me, because when I go in the theater, they handle me in a very rough manner.
What is your age?
66.
66. Well, I really can't advise you properly here because I don't know what all was done. You know,
About
it's
3 ultrasound at balancing, blood test, urine test, everything that you could think about, heart test.
ultrasound doesn't fix the problems, right? Ultrasound may only reveal what is causing your problem, if it does, okay? You need to revisit the facilities that you were at and let them be aware that your condition still exists.
Okay.
You don't have to go back into surgery, but they need to know that you still have your problems, and maybe they'll do an ultrasound again to see if it still exists.
Dr. Hayes, right now I'm frightened to go to them because when they carry me to the theater, they handle me in such a raw and rough manner. When I come out from theater, they tell me I must drink pressure tablets because my pressure go up. They had to put me on the pressure machine, and the machine beeping and red all the time. Then, but half an hour or hour after, then go back to green.
Well, I'm saddened about your condition. I really am. You know, I don't know what stage you're at with whatever it is that is happening with you.
Right
But
now, I go to Mercy Hospital, and they give me an ultrasound, and the ultrasound papers show that it's a stone still in the kidney, and right now my belly, the one side, is swelling and giving me pain.
the same side where the stone's supposed to be lodged?
Yeah, both sides have stones, right? But the stent, they take out the stent from the left side. But the right side now, swelling. Because they said there is a blockage in the kidney. And the stones is a blockage.
The stone is blocking the flow.
Yes.
So maybe the stones are very large then.
No, they said this that is in there is like
They-
some,
They're small stones?
yes,
Well, what you can do at home, if you can, if if you don't want to go back, there is a formula that I have for kidney stones. Okay, but a simple thing you can do is to use lemon and water. Okay?
I use lemon water,
Not just short, just not.
olive oil.
No, you don't need the olive oil. Olive oil with lemon and water is for
When I
gallstones.
use the lemon water, it reduces me.
It reduces you. So how long you had this problem?
Since last December.
Since December?
Yes.
You also need to change your diet. You know, you don't get rid of something if you keep putting back into your system what causes it.
Okay.
All right? If they haven't spoken with you about your dietary changes that you need to make, then it needs to be addressed. Use no acids, use no limes, no passion fruit, come off of the flesh. You know, you've got to do those things because if you continue to use foods that can generate uric acid, then you're going to continue to have stones.
I don't use lemon, I don't use lime, I don't use, the only thing I use is a little bit of fish and a little bit of chicken.
Well, you might want to stop it for a while
Okay.
because the kidney still has to function to process some of it. Right?
And you think that would help?
Well, it will begin the process, and then you need to go back on the lemon and water. Half of a lemon to a glass of water. And just monitor your pressure. It wouldn't make you lose weight so quickly.
Okay.
Try that, and then, if it doesn't help you, then maybe you can visit the clinic and we can see what is happening there. Because there are medicines that can reduce stones.
Okay.
And even have to remove them. They are.
But then they as a surgery, or you
Well,
could treat it for
if
it?
if it's small, not necessarily so. No, but again, we don't know what else was done with this during the surgical procedure. We don't know.
Dr. Hill, when he came to the theater, they handled me in such a rough manner that I had to holler for pain. Because the laser surgery, is not a cut, is a treatment from the bottom, from your uterus to the bottom.
Yeah.
And it wasn't easy. It was very painful in the theater. They didn't use no anesthetic or nothing.
Really?
Uh,
Oh boy.
This, what I tell you, whether your hand been rough, is I feel everything when I take out the stem out, pull it out, and everything.
Well, I'm saddened by your experience, okay?
Yes.
But try what I suggested, and then, if it doesn't help you, just monitor your pressure, okay? Because it could make your pressure go down.
Well, I joined the Calvin Health Clinic, and I'll get some pressure tablets from them.
Now, what I'm saying is, then that might be beneficial to you, because the lemon and water will help the pressure to go down.
Okay, Mr. Hill.
All right? So you try that, and then you will let me know, okay?
Okay, Mr. Hill.
But don't give up, all right?
Good.
Okay, then.
So, bye-bye.
Bye. These are stories I hear all the time.
Fear.
All the time, all the time. It's
It's a fear of people.
it is alarming to know that humans can do those things to humans. It's alarming. I am anyhow. I don't know really. I don't have all the details, so I can only say that it is not. It's not fair. To have someone go through that, even though it's laser, it still needs to be some sort of a, you should be made comfortable to go through the procedure, But I don't know all the details, so I can't really speak much. But if you try what I suggest, then you should get some results, because the stones, according to what you're saying, are small, even though there may be a few, they're small, and they can be dissolved by using the lemon and water. You don't have to use the oil, olive oil for kidney stones. Olive oil is only added when they're gallstones. So just follow the lemon and water. Good evening.
Have a good night.
Good night to you.
Hi. I have a weird problem that is going on.
You have a what problem?
Yeah.
What is the problem?
It's my stool is green. I didn't eat anything vegetable. I don't know what's it called.
Your feces is green,
Yeah.
and you haven't eaten anything green?
No.
Okay, then you probably need to check with a physician or so, because how old are you?
I'm 15.
15. You need to let your parents know, because that's your bile. That's coming from maybe your gallbladder side. You need to have that. You need to have it. How long is happening to you?
2 days.
2 days. Okay. So what have you had to eat?
Pumpkin, macaroni, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a snack.
Okay. Your parents are aware of it?
Yeah.
And what have they done? Anything?
They want to carry me to the hospital, but
If it continues, then they need to do that. They need to take you someplace so you can be looked at. Because it's not normal for your stool to be green when you're not, when you're not using anything that can make it green. Okay?
alright.
All right. I know of that experience there too, because I was on my fast and I was using grape juice. And the stool was very dark. I'm wondering you know, why would it be dark? But it was pure grape juice. So when I stopped it, it changed. Good evening.
Hello, Doc. Good night.
Good night to you. You might be the last caller. How you doing?
I lay up on my bed and I listen to everything we talk about the cube, the mechanic, the every single thing. You understand?
Uh-huh.
It's truth. We eating, we dig in the grave, we teeth and we eating to go inside the grave. It's truth. With all the chemical, every single thing. You understand me, Doc?
Yeah.
It's very, right now, my wife is a cancer patient. Right now.
We see so many of that every day. It's amazing.
She taken treatment at Jarton Hospital for the lymphoma non-Hodgkin.
Wow.
And
What's the age of your wife?
51.
51.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's happening younger and younger. I've seen cancer patients in the 20s.
I see a little child at Jarton Hospital in my last 6. When she got the chemotherapy then. It's a little boy. This thing, the food, the chemical got stuff from the wharf coming in the Guyana and all kind of thing. It's good. Okay, Doc. Good
Thanks for
night.
calling. Okay, appreciate your contribution. Where are you calling from?
First telling.
Stelling, okay. Appreciate the call, okay?
Okay, yes.
I hope your wife gets better.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Right.
We keep her in our prayers. And Dr. Yates, good to have you here.
Seeds of life.
I am going to ask you when you do your program on Friday night to offer prayers for the people of this country who are suffering with cancer.
Give thanks.
Good evening.
No.
Turn the volume of your television down.
Going now, steady.
Turn the volume of your television down, please.
Belly going now, steady.
I hear you, but turn the volume of your television down. All right. You're having diarrhea?
Yes, man, but a month now.
1 month?
Yes, and I drink ORS.
Yeah.
And it cannot really.
ORS is not going to stop the diarrhea.
Huh?
ORS is just put the fluids back inside of you. But we need to find out why you're having the diarrhea. Obviously, you're having a bacteria in your system or a virus.
Okay.
What you need to do to help with the diarrhea, in my little research, is that you need to make some strong spice and clove tea.
Okay.
Make it strong, and you drink it until the diarrhea stops. Okay?
Okay, that's
Try that, but
the pains are feeling now.
Well,
Like the knee start to get weak.
that's a different story. You know, you have to. That is a condition that is occurring as a result of what is happening to you. Right?
I
So
think the movement and the tummy that causing the.
yes, and you're right. Let us try to stop the diarrhea, and that will change as you're able to retain more
Spice
food.
yourself.
Spice and clove.
Okay.
Strong spice and clove tea. No, don't use any sweetener in it.
Okay.
Okay?
And what do you think I should eat?
What you should eat? Well, I would say drink some soup with edo and plantain and so, blend it up and then drink it. Or eat it just as it is.
And you just raise my pressure.
Well, it may raise the pressure, but it'll put back some good iron in you. It wouldn't raise the pressure as much as you think it would. Just don't add any salt and no cubes.
All right.
Okay? All right. Good day.
Thank you.
Sure. Bye. All right. I'm not hearing from the operator, and I know the time is up. So I can take 3 minutes. Okay. She gave me 3 minutes more, so I'll take another call. Good evening. Oh, I just missed it. You can call back. Just make a quick call back. I'm going to ask my operator to queue up the Seeds of Life ad, and maybe you can run it, just at the end of the program. After this call, you can run it. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. No, it's still on there. It's not hung up, but we're not hearing anything. I'm really sorry about that. I don't like to disconnect calls, but that might be a call that I need to answer. But I answered it, but
They need to talk.
maybe the phone is having problems, or maybe she's calling from a zone where, you know, the weather is interfering with her phone.
You're so kind.
But I want to thank all of you for listening and for participating and, you know, being more aware of what's really happening in our lives. And I want you to help me with the decoding by being more alert, you know, more vigilant about your consumption of foods and so, you know. Be more. Help me to help you. Last call. Good evening.
Good evening, Dr.
Turn the volume of your TV down for me, please.
Okay. I'll move away from it. Good evening.
Good evening to you.
Dr. Haynes, I want to come in to see you.
Okay.
Okay.
Make sure you-
it's like I'm a diabetes patient, diabetic.
You're diabetic. All right.
Yeah. And sometimes it don't read. Don't read anything really. Like it's not get the insulin or whatever. I don't know what the cause of that.
You're on insulin, you say?
No, the doctor says, a doctor say I may have to take insulin.
That's because the sugar goes very high.
Yeah, so I do something.
So what about your diet? Did you change your diet?
Oh, I tell Elizabeth I eat anything.
You eat a little bit of anything?
Yeah.
That's not how you deal with a condition that is of that nature.
I want to change my diet, honestly, but I want to come by you.
All right, when you come, we're going to give you a diet sheet that is going to be designed for your condition.
Yes.
But
So I'll check you. I want to check you next week, but you say
yeah, don't come next week. But you can call the number and someone will take an appointment or have an appointment made for you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Listen. In the meantime, cut all the sugars and all the fats.
Oh, I'm not using sugar or fat.
Right. Come off the fats and then watch the carbs. Watch your rice and your, you know.
Oh, I eat my rice,
And
but
your
that
bread.
is not much.
Yeah.
A normal lady's meal.
Okay. All right. Well, if you're doing that, then you're doing some of the right things. We just need to see that your organs are functioning as they should.
Okay.
So that you can get the sugars converted properly,
Yeah,
all
but I
right?
was listening to a program from a doctor on the thing, and they say that he was saying something like when you're passing wind all the time, there's something with the kidney. Is that so?
Well, I'm not really sure of that, but when you're passing wind all the time, it means that your foods are fermenting.
Okay.
They're not processing properly.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a problem with the digestive system. All right, but we will deal with that when I see you, okay?
Okay.
Thanks for calling, all right? What area are you calling from?
I'm calling for Echoes.
Echoes, okay. Well, thanks for calling. Try and get the sugar control. I have a very good formula for blood sugar, but we're out of time. I can't give it to you now, okay?
Okay. Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. All right, this is where I have to say so long. I want to thank you for participating. Looking forward to see you next time. Dr. Yin saying good night, so long, God bless you.
Al Shalamti. Again I say, Al Shalamti. Vigilant men, virtuous ladies, and learning students. My names are Dr. Richard Yates, the host of Seeds of Life. Coming soon on this television station, you can see a program promoting the seeds of life. It is written that the Creator has given us seeds and herb healing plants for the nation. The nation is Guyana. Guyana, heal thyself. Join me here on this television station as you learn about the pumpkin seed. You learn about the chia seed. You learn about the black seed. You learn about the flax seed. You learn about the sesame seed. You learn about the mustard seed, several seeds, right here on this television station. For more information, call Dr. Yates at 592-693-3388. My numbers are 693-3388. Thank you so much for supporting great health in Guyana. Your greatest wealth is your health. Shalamti Al. Shalom. Salam. Stay healthy.
Looking for a place for the whole family? Come down to the Toucan Mall in Amelia's Ward, Linden. It's the mall that has it all.